There was news in Libya today. NATO unleashed its most punishing bombardment yet, 60 airstrikes on targets all around the capital. President Obama told reporters it's just a matter of time now before Moammar Qaddafi goes. But in Tripoli tonight, Pizzey tells us the dictator is refusing to give in.
Dozens of airstrikes rocked the Libyan capital, sending shockwaves from thunderous blasts across the city, the smoke hanging like a shroud. The raids targeted Colonel Moammar Qaddafi's headquarters, the sprawling Bab al-Aziza complex, and were the most sustained daytime bombardments the Libyan capital has suffered yet. A NATO spokesman said the raids were a message to Qaddafi that NATO means business. In an obvious effort to prove Qaddafi is still here and in charge, Libyan television showed him with tribal leaders watching a program with today's date on it. Earlier, the Libyan leader phoned a TV show to rail against the bombing. "You cowards will not terrorize the Libyan people," Qaddafi ranted at NATO, and he vowed, "We shall not surrender. We have only one option. This is our country and we shall not leave it." The problem for NATO is that if this doesn't work and Qaddafi and his inner circle refuse to give up, what do they do next? So far, civilian casualties have been minimal. But the heavier the bombing, the greater the risk. A difference of a few yards can mean the difference between a pinpoint strike and mass civilian casualties. And there was at least one casualty here. The body of Musba Hassan Nasser, said to be a cleaner, was hauled from the rubble after it was spotted by journalists. On the edge of a parkland in front of the building bombed by the U.S. in 1986, a huge crater was incongruously being watered by sprinklers. The regime still has its hardcore loyalists.
Why you are hitting Libya? What Libya did to you?
Qaddafi called on his people to rush to defend his complex when they heard the bombs. But all he got was the usual staged protest. A NATO spokesman said this was just the beginning of what he characterized as a heavier dose. The bombing tapered off around sunset, but no one here is expecting a quiet night. Scott?
Alan, give me a sense of what it's like to be a resident of Tripoli right now.
It's very strange, Scott. We were a bunch of us standing on the roof watching the clouds of smoke roil into the air. And if you turned around and looked to the other side of the hotel, out into the street, people were going about their life quite normally. The place was full of traffic. Another bomb went off when I was in my room writing a script, and there was a maid in there cleaning, and I said, "Noisy, eh?" And she looked at me, shrugged, and said, "NATO crazy," and went back to making the bed. People basically just get on with it.
Alan, thank you.